once again, welcome back. Another LC Coaches Show with Coach Charles. I'm Brad Welburn, and we're going to talk about football things. Got a couple weeks ahead of us with the Wildcats back at home for the next 2 weeks, and we're going to get into all those details here in just a second. But we still need to talk about last week. I know we may not spend a whole lot of time on it, but it is the most recent game and everything. So, Coach, first of all, thanks for joining me again here this week. And I guess what can you say about last week? Obviously, a tough opponent, a very, very good team. They're ranked in the top 10 for a reason. And I guess give me your general thoughts on the game. I know it was a pretty strong first quarter, but then the second quarter, I think you said you guys had some execution problems, and that kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, we had a decent first quarter, but when we cut the film on, we kind of beat ourselves in certain situations, even though it looked like we were playing well. But overall, our kids gave great effort. But when you go in and play the number 8 team in the country, what I believe they were ranked at the time, we've got to execute. And I've got to have my guys prepared through and through in every scenario. So that lays on my shoulders. I've got to have my kids prepared for every situation to battle for 4 quarters, not just 1 quarter, especially when you're playing the top team, one of the top teams in the country.
Right. And I think we kind of talked after the game. I mean, it's one of those things where, you hear it all the time when coaches say you give a good team extra, help or whatever, or you don't play 100% your game, then things like that happen, and that was kind of the case.
Exactly. We had missed some opportunities throughout the game to keep ourselves in the game, especially in the first half. We missed a lot of opportunities, missed a couple catches, missed a couple tackles to put those guys in the bind and put ourselves in better situations, and we just missed those opportunities. And if we don't capitalize on a team that is top ranked in the country, they're gonna make you pay for it every time. And so that snowball effect just kind of happened throughout the game. And once you don't capitalize with those guys, they're gonna capitalize on your mistake for not doing so.
Well, I guess, because we like to focus on positive things most of the time, right? So when you did look back at the film and when you did kind of dissect it and look at the game, what were some things maybe that you thought, well, we did this well, we did that well? So what were some of those things that you
a couple of things that we did do well is we know our game plan was solid, and our kids, for the most part, ran the game plan. And obviously effort was there. Our kids didn't come out and just lay down for the opponent. They came out and we played hard, maybe not executed everything that we desired to do. But the game plan overall was there, it was set, and that's an attribute to the coaches and the kids for preparing. But when you get in a situation, you have to capitalize. Right. We did not do so. But effort was there, and definitely proud of our kids for that. And we know now what it takes to be in the top 10 in the country. So if we want to get there, we know the opponent. We've got to be correct in everything that we do and go 1-0 every day.
So do you use this type of game as a sort of a challenge to the guys, especially coming in this week with you back at home for 2 weeks, and you say, look, this is where we want to get to, and so let's not let this happen again, and let's move forward.
Right. It was. I wouldn't say I would use it as a challenge. I would definitely use it as a measuring stick for motivation. Gotcha. Because our kids after that loss, you can look in those kids' eyes, and I was hurting just as much as they were, right. And we don't want to have that feeling again for the rest of the year. So sometimes I'm going to have to remind them, hey, remember that feeling after week 2. Let's not get back to that feeling. So motivation is more what I feel that is the challenge. So, but even after watching the film, another thing that all the mistakes that we did make, they're correctable.
Right.
And so that's a positive thing as well. So all the mistakes wasn't things that was like, oh, well, we don't have the talent. No, we've got the talent. And it's just the ability to correct them now. And so that's a positive thing off of it.
Well, sort of similar to baseball, you get another chance really pretty quickly, and you do right away. Back at home this week as you take on Southwestern, one of the sort of newcomers to the ASC this year, and I know it'll be exciting to be back at home, back in front of the home fans. So tell us a little bit about Southwestern. I know they played 3 games to this point, and from just looking, stats can tell you one thing and mean totally different things, but seems like they're more of a run-based team than what you saw certainly last week with Hardin Simmons and their passing attack.
Right. Southwestern, they're a good program. This is our first opportunity to play them. I know they've played a couple other teams in the ASC. So we're looking forward to playing these guys for the first time, and it's a great thing that we do get to be back at home doing it. And one thing that I will commend Southwestern on is those kids play so hard. You know, this is going to be one of the hardest fought teams that we play against, because teams that want to establish the run, they're a physical team. Yeah. And for us, we've got to make sure we be just as physical as them on our home turf and be ready for the challenge. And they do a couple different things unorthodox within their run game. You know, it'll be the first time, I think, at Louisiana college history we faced a flexbone team that are running downhill right at us and playing a little bit of triple option at times. So it'll be interesting and it'll be fun, you know. But the great thing about it is coming back off of last week with the lack of execution, when you play a triple option team, is now it's assignment football. Yeah. And so, you know, it's let's get back to just assignment football. So it's actually a pretty good matchup for us that we're excited about. So.
And I think, you know, it also, I think, maybe plays into our strengths a little bit too, because, you know, with this assignment football and, you know, the gaps and things you have to control, with the front seven that we have, loaded with seniors, loaded with experience. I mean, you got to feel pretty good about how you guys match up, at least from that part.
Yeah, we do match up, you know, but they do some really good things with their misdirection. Right. And so again, it's being able to be sound in that run game, and the privilege we have is definitely those seniors that have been in this position before, and so we're looking forward to the challenge. You know, it's going to be good, and our run defense at times have been very well this year, but consistency is what we need.
Right. Talk a little bit about the offensive approach this week. Obviously, still going with the two quarterback deal and kind of establishing the running game with several different guys. Several receivers have stepped up and made plays. So, what's the goal for the offense this week?
The goal for this week is to really establish who we are, because this is an opponent that they play some different type of defense too. They're going to match up with us man to man on the outside, probably 90% of the game. And we're looking forward to that type of matchup, you know, because our receivers, we feel like at times need to be more physical, and it's an opportunity for those guys to step up and say, hey, we are a physical type receiver core. And in a running game, they do some things in the running game that may present some challenges, but again, with the offensive line, those guys are looking forward to the challenge to try to push some guys around and open up a couple gaps. So. You know, it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be a fun game. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those games that, hey, we're going to see who Louisiana College really is, because it's a different challenge than we ever had.
Right. All right, folks. Well, there you go. Again, this week and next week, back-to-back home games for the Wildcats. Southwestern, 1 o'clock Saturday, right here at Wildcat Stadium. Of course, all the traditional media will be in place. We'll have the stream on our website, lcwildcats.net. We'll be on Twitter. You can hear the game on the radio, 104.3 The Bridge with Rich Dupree, Doug Gann, and Al Quartermont. And you don't want to miss out. So if you can't, for whatever reason, can't make it out to the field, you can definitely watch it online and listen to it in whatever format you would like to follow the game. So, yeah. So thanks again, Coach Charles. Appreciate you as always. Looking forward to a good game this week, and we'll see you back again next time.